Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media in association with Will Eyes Therapy, Still Hub Management, and JB Promotions. We are very, very delighted today to have Victor Morales Jr., El Tornado. It's brilliant to have you on here, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm glad to be here.
Now, listen, we have also hiding someone that's a little bit more familiar, Mr. Jason Quigley, who's part of the Sheer Management Sports Management Group that's working with yourself. Jason, nice to see you as well.
Always a pleasure to be on with you, lad. Always a pleasure.
Now, listen, Victor, before we talk about boxing, please tell us that in Los Angeles it's raining, it's cold, and you're really not having a nice weather.
We're actually having really nice and sunny weather today. It looks like I think that I got here right after all the flooding and all the rain and nastiness that came through.
Well, I think Jason and myself are in competition for the worst weather at the moment, and it's fairly even, I think. So,
Oh yeah.
well, well done for being in the sunshine. Now, listen, fabulous news coming up. You have got yourself a world title eliminator fight on the Zepeda and Hughes fight. Tell us a little bit about that.
I won my intercontinental title, kind of put my name out there where I wanted to, with a knockout over Diego de La Hoya, and then defended my last fight, and the WBA called for this fight, and we're here for it.
Well, that's fantastic news, and you're over in Las Vegas. That must be one of your dreams to fight out in Vegas, in the home of boxing.
Right. I fought there as an amateur, but as a pro, I know it's no different. It's a lot different. So, um, I'm excited.
And of course, you're going to be fighting in the Cosmopolitan, which we were there a few weeks ago for the Conor Ben fight, and it's a fabulous arena, a great place to box.
Perfect. I haven't been to the Cosmopolitan, but like I said, we're super excited. We're getting ready, and we're gonna put on a show.
Well, we can't wait for it, and we've been looking at your record, and I mean, you've 20 fights, 19 wins, one draw, and nine knockouts. So you've got a bit of a habit of knocking people out. I mean, it's a good record, my friend. With this fight, of course, you're stepping up a little bit. Just how
Mhm.
much do you think that the winning the WBA Intercontinental sort of belt has helped you to sort of start to make that step towards the world titles?
You know, we wanted that fight. I actually found out like the night before the fight that was a title fight. I said, okay,
Wow.
well, whatever. I guess it was a surprise for me. So we went out there. I specifically called so that fight. It was a surprise to me that it was a title fight, which was fine with me. Um, that fight mainly, I wanted a name that I could go out and really show where I was because unfortunately I wasn't getting names and who am I fighting and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, which I hated. And so I took to social media and called out Diego and finally made that fight happen and we did what we did.
Well, I'll tell you what, you knocked him out in the second round. It was a pretty brutal blow as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that fight, I'm assuming that you kind of had a game plan. Was that the plan to go in and get that KO and make that statement?
Um, to get the knockout, we were gonna if it was there, I was gonna take it. But that specific combination and the hook to set it up, that was all trained for. Um, if it was gonna come, it was gonna come. We wanted to go out there and make the statement that we did. That was the main thing.
And your defense was really good as well because you went, 10 rounds with Edwin Palomes. And, he's a good fighter, but, the scorecards were very much in your favor in that fight. It was a great fight,
Yeah,
a good defense.
yeah. It's a good defense. I got to show some defense, fight through adversity in that fight with two cuts,
Yeah.
and came home came home with the belt, came home with a win and a unanimous decision.
Now, in a fight like that, of course, your corner team really important, and I know that Jason's had some involvement in that. If we just bring Jason in for a minute, Jason, what do you see in Victor going forwards? Because he's obviously a very very strong and good boxer that's getting up to those levels. Just how do you sort of see Victor's career going from now?
I think Victor is finally getting the opportunity that he deserves. In his career, Victor didn't get the big names because the big names didn't want to fight Victor. It was too much of a risk to fight Victor, and they were shying away from this fight because he was a good, strong, up and coming kid, undefeated record, disciplined, you know, lives by the book, and that's what this game's all about. That's where you can match some natural talent, some discipline, some hunger, and with living a good life, you've got a real good package here, and that's what Victor is. You know, he got onto social media, he called out Diego De La Hoya. Like, who better to call out than Diego De La Hoya when you're signing with Golden Boy Promotions, and then you go and knock him out?
It's a
Like,
bit
that
cheeky,
is
isn't
the
it?
way, yeah, and that is the way to do it, and that's what he did. He wasn't getting the opportunities. The big names weren't taking him on, and he finally got his opportunity, and he grabbed it with both hands. And then they put him in his last fight against another tough, durable opponent, maybe not with the same stature or name as Diego De La Hoya, but in with a good opponent that is going to test Victor. And Victor came through that with flying colours, got a cut, fought through adversity, had to dig down his gum shield, and that's what he showed as well. Like, Diego can get in there, or sorry, Victor can get in there, he can knock you out. Victor can get in there, he can use his defense, he can come through a troubled patch, he can overcome that, and he can come back and be twice as strong. And those are all the little things that you need to become a champion. And Victor is starting to show these in each fight. And now he's got his big opportunity to go in there now, win this fight that he got up in March now in Vegas, put in another performance, put in another statement. But all Victor got to do is concentrate on him, concentrate on showing up the best Victor Morales, get the victory, and move on to a world title fight.
Victor,
Exactly.
I mean,
That's the plan.
yeah, I want to ask Victor. It's really good to have somebody like Jason in your corner, somebody who's been in there with some big names, most recently with Balanga. What's it like for you to know that you've got that experience in your corner on these big occasions?
It means the world. I mean, we didn't meet in person, but not that long ago, and it was just instant brotherhood. Like, we had known each other for all our lives, it seemed like.
Yeah.
It was just automatic. We were just like, you're gonna be in the corner, and when you fight, I'm gonna be there. And it was that's how it was. And it means the world because he's seen it in and out. He's been through it. He's fought the top guys. He's been there. And so I'm in a way I'm kind of following that foot track. And he's like, look, this is what you need to do. This is what you can do. This is what you should be. If you need anything mentally, physically, whatever, I'm here for you. And that means the world because it's different coming from someone that's, outside of my immediate family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Knowing that that's really all I've ever had is that I'm the oldest son. I'm the only one boxing. My dad's my trainer. So, things come differently when they come from, outside of the family, and that makes him family to me.
yeah, and it's nice. I mean, we've known Jason quite a while, and his experience is very, very important to someone like yourself at this time. I mean, it's a world title eliminator. So this is not, we're not mucking about anymore. These are very good opponents which are coming to hurt you. And obviously, that's not what you want to happen. You want to be going forward and getting that world title fight. So
Right.
a good combination of someone like Jason with experience and obviously your dad who obviously knows you inside and out because he's your coach. It's a very exciting combination, and we're looking forward to seeing how that goes.
And that was something as well. Like, as Victor says, me and him just hit it off. Like, and because we had that relationship, it was just like we just got each other from the start. Like,
I
we
think we're
just,
just very similar is what it is.
yeah,
You
yeah,
drink
Very
Guinness as
similar.
well, then?
after the fight, we're going to get him some Guinness.
No, you're not going to give
But
him any Guinness because if he wins, he's got a world title fight. So no, you're not.
And we're gonna win this fight, and I know that those 1 and 2, Raymond Ford and the other guy, I don't know what his name is, from Uzbekistan or something. They're fighting for it, and that's what I want right after. I don't want anything in between. I want to go right into that fight, but I'm focusing on this fight, and then we'll talk about that one after.
Well, that was going to be my
and
next question. So if you if it is your night, and God willing, it will be, Is that what you want to do? Do you not want to muck about? You just want to get straight in there and go for that world title?
I want to straight into it. Straight into it. I don't want any tune-up fights. I'm done with the tune-up fights. We're here. We're ready to go, and we're staying ready. I'll take a week or two off after this fight and go right back into it.
And, do you feel like this is your weight? This is the right category for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously I'm not small for the weights, but I can make the weight. And I'm not dying to make the weight. So this is my weight. We won the world title. We'll decide from there if we're going to stay there and defend and then, capture the other titles, or we'll move up. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few names if you move up one. So
one name that I was wanting originally, which was Leigh Wood, but he moved up to 130, which is fine with me.
yeah, but he could always
We'll
move
just find
again.
him up there.
I mean, listen.
I actually lived with Leigh Wood for a while in Sheffield. I'll give him a text now whenever I'm in Vegas. I'll be like, "This boy's coming for you, Leigh."
Because that before the title was vacant, before he vacated the title, that was the guy. So when we heard that there was Eliminator coming up,
a lot of similarities between yourself and Leigh as well, Victor. Like Leigh's just such a good dude. Like Leigh was one of my real.
Like I said, nothing against the guy, but this 100%. Is boxing. We'll shake hands, we'll give him a hug afterwards, but this is the fight. This is boxing. So anyone from 126 to 130 can get it.
100%. And that was like what we were talking about, the relationship me and Victor created. I also created the same relationship with his dad. We just started talking like tactics and boxing, and me and his dad just really started to work off so well together. And Victor's dad is like, obviously Victor puts in the work, does everything he can, gets to the point, but his dad is such a great man behind him, that's in the gym, that's pushing him, that's guiding him all his career. Do you know what I mean? And I think the two of them really work well as a duo. And the two of them are really great people, and it's a pleasure to be a part of the Morales team as well, along with them. So it's great. So it really is.
And it's funny you say that about your father, Victor, being a major part of your boxing life, because in the UK, a lot of the top boxers also have their fathers as coaches. You've got Josh Warrington, Dalton Smith. There's a lad in the Bronx in New York called Afacio Falcone. All these guys have got their father as coaches, and then got somebody like Jason to come in and just give that extra sort of piece of information, that bit of those extra eyes with a slightly different view, but not conflicting. So it bodes well for the future, Victor, for you, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And I mean,
that's one thing with Victor's dad. Like, he's one of the guys that he asks, like he knows that more eyes on things as well. Like, you get a lot of dads that aren't open to listening to
they just want their eyes, and that's it.
Exactly. Like, Victor's dad is so open. He'll be like, "What do you think, Jason? What do you think here? What do you think there?" And relying on other guys as well, like always willing to learn. So no, definitely is a great duo for sure.
And do you know what I like, Victor? Also, Jason's most recently been in the ring with Berlanga. Now that is one talented boxer. So to face a boxer like that and gain that kind of experience and pass that on to someone like yourself, who is also at the beginning to a certain extent of the world title sort of trail in his career, I think that gives you an edge.
Absolutely. And we're going to take every edge we can. Like I said, just like my dad is not afraid to take opinion or from where, and that's what makes him dangerous, I think, is because some of these coaches, they just see what they want to do, what they want to do, and that's it. Whatever they were taught, and that's it. Maybe they might learn a couple of things, but they don't want to hear outside voices. And that's what makes my dad very dangerous, is he's listening to everybody. He's asking for things from different people. What do you think this? What do you, like Jason said, what do you think this? What do you think that? You think this will work? But he's open to it, and that's what makes him dangerous. And that's what a lot of people don't realize.
It might even give Jason a little bit of a boost and get him to come and have one more fight.
We'll see.
Victor, he's just bought a new house, and maybe he needs a new pond to go with the house.
Hey, Hey man, whatever he decides, I'm here for it, and I'm gonna be there.
For
Now,
sure,
listen,
bro.
we can't.
I got a passport, so I can travel across the seas if I need to.
My man.
Well, of course, let's talk about the card, Victor, because William Zepeda versus Maxi Hughes. It's an IBF and WBA eliminator. It's a huge night for our guy, Maxi Hughes. It's kind of a make or break fight. So the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. And what a great card to be on.
Yeah, this is my third or fourth Zepeda card that I've been under. I've been his co-main since I think 3 fights ago.
Yeah. And what do you think of the fight? Obviously, you're going to side with your man and we're going to side with ours. But how do you think that fight's going to go for both guys?
Um, I don't know too much about Maxi Hughes. I haven't really focused in on that fight. I know what Zepeda can bring. He's gonna bring the numbers and the power and the pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about Maxi Hughes. I'm kind of just focusing on myself, but I already know what Zepeda brings just from seeing him fight. And I know his trainer and I know what those guys are gonna bring. And I think as long as he sticks to his game plan and what he does, he could take it away. But like I said, I don't know what Maxi Hughes'
Boxing.
style is.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's gonna bring, so I couldn't give you an answer on that one.
Yeah, we know Zepeda a little bit. We've seen a couple of his fights, and like you say, he's a very, very, very shrewd operator. He's very technical and he knows his stuff. But then Maxi's got a lot of power, and I think this one will go the distance, and it's going to be very, very close, regardless of which way it goes. And I think Jason would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I think, Maxi is a very underrated fighter. He's very awkward. He's got great distance. He's got great timing. Zepeda is relentless.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
I was there for Victor's last fight, obviously, and Zepeda was the main event. I stayed on after the fight and watched. I only seen the last couple of rounds because we were obviously back in the change rooms with Victor. But I seen the last couple of rounds and I couldn't believe the volume of punches, the intensity that he brings. I think it's going to be a difficult night for Maxi away from home. Trying to put on that big performance in Las Vegas. If the occasion doesn't get to him and he can make it awkward for Zepeda, I think that it could also be a tricky night and could go the distance and be a relatively close fight. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it, but I just think that Zepeda is the guy at the minute that he's knocking on the door to big things and massive fights, I believe.
Yeah. Well, listen, Victor. Whatever the result on that fight, I think the card is a great one to be on, and of course, promoted by Golden Boy and live on DAZN, I believe.
Yep.
So you're going to have a few eyes on you this time, so it's your time to shine.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna do what we do, and we're gonna come home with the win.
Now, listen, I'm looking at your hat, and you've got the wild card boxing. Is that where you've been doing some training?
Yeah, this is where we do most of our sparring at. So we go to Wildcard and get our sparring in. We'll go to another gym here locally that are closer to us here at the camp house. That we do kind of our technical stuff.
Yeah.
And if guys start to fall out the Wildcard, then we'll end up back here, and we move around.
And obviously, I know that all you guys in camp at this level are pretty tight knit. But sparring. Any names you can throw at us that you've been in there with?
Not this time, no.
It was worth a try. Well, listen, we can't wait for this. It's been a real pleasure to have a chat with you and to introduce you to the UK people as well, the boxing fans here. Very much love boxing, regardless of where it's held. So I know that people will be very interested in your fight. I'm assuming there are still tickets for people who want to come out and want to go and watch it.
Yes, there should be. I don't think that they're sold out yet. Golden Boy has it on their in their bio, I'm sure. And yeah, tickets are there at the Cosmopolitan, live on DAZN.
Okay, so listen, Jason, I want to get a prediction from you for Victor's fight.
Victor Morales is going to get the W all night long. If he wants to get it late on with a knockout, he can get it late on with a knockout. If he wants to take him the distance and beat him up for a little bit, he'll do that as well. But Victor Morales is going to come on, put on a show, have fun in there while he's doing it, and he's going to get his world title shot for sure.
And Victor, last word to you. What's the result going to be? As if I didn't know what you were going to say.
It's going to be a win, but I think I can stop this guy, honestly. Early, maybe not, but I think that I'm going to take him into deep waters mentally midway to the end of the fight and try and put him away towards the end of the fight.
Well, listen, it bodes for a fantastic evening boxing. I'm sure that the UK guys will all be up watching, and we wish you the very best, health and safety as well, and hope that you come out with the win, and you've got that world title in your sights next.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, listen, great to speak to you, great to meet you, Jason. Good to have you on as always, and we will look forward to watching that fight. 16th of March, Las Vegas, live on the Zone, promoted by Golden Boy.
Yes, sir. It was good talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
Brilliant. Thanks for introducing Victor to the UK fans, because he's coming
yes,
big.
sir.